Hello and welcome back to Suzerain with the King of Rizia and King Ramus Taurus. In today's episode, we're going to start with Operation Golden Shield Phase 2. Continuing our invasion of Bales. Alright, so we're starting with enemy's turn going on. Seeing all the stuff they're up to. Now I can deploy some reinforcements. I do have mercenaries. A group of mercenaries now, so they have better attack is their biggest thing. So I will place you first. Cancel. I do have you to deal with, so I'm gonna first need you. I'm gonna need a guy for here because you're going to be pushing at them. Oh wait. Oh, I don't have access over there at the moment because I need that. Okay, actually, first I'm going to just move you there. Now I can deploy wherever on that line. Though, actually, that still doesn't help a lot. Okay, cancel. And I also have explosives that I can use now, and they don't have stuff to defend with right now because I took down their air base. So I actually can really hurt them. That's gonna win there. So what I want is just mercenaries to be able to take out you. This is gonna win. This needs some more help. If I got you there, and then honestly, I kind of just want to throw down some more troops. Just deploy them all over. You attack them, you'll be able to win there. You support them. You guys hold out there and defeat the tank. You defeat that. And you defeat that. So even with you having only 1 health, you do have insane armor being on where you are. But I can move you forward, though. You will overrun. You will overrun. You will attack. You will support. Okay, that's not enough. Okay, well, I don't have that guy have enough. Okay. Well, I should have waited, but oh well. Instead, what I need to do is swap you out. You can actually just move forward and take that. Refugees in the battlefield. As the relentless war rages on, the town of Limina is witnessing a massive influx of different citizens fleeing from the conflict zone. The escaping refugees are in need of supplies and equipment to help them reach safer land. Yeah, let's establish a safe corridor. Attack. Support. Support. That'll start winning there. And hold them off. Now, if you could support there, that'll auto-win that. You move forward. Move. Move. Now, this is very much surrounded. And you move forward. Support. There we go. Now that's gonna win. Now you can overrun there. You can move. You can move. You take their coastal artillery. So that'll be damaging that as well. So that's good. You sadly have to die, but it's worth it because I take their tank and their fort. So that is a very useful thing to take. My tank retreats, which is fine. What I will do is get you swapped. You will support. Oh. You will support there. You will push forward. You will take damage. You will move back to a supply. You will move there. You will attack there and win. You will overrun there. And you'll just attack that. Because that's already currently winning, just that. So, yeah. You get some damage in there. And I kill that ship for nothing, so that's great. Move. Support. You overrun. You will attack. Move. And we are very close at this point. Overrun. Attack. Support. Support. Move. We'll be able to get more in on that when pushing next time. And there we go. This is actually going insanely well at the moment. 750th anniversary of Isa University. Cameras flashed all around as my royal motorcade rolled up to the Isa University auditorium entrance. As King of Rizia, I had been invited to speak at the Institute's 750th anniversary. Vina agreed to come along, with Manus as her date. The two of them were in the car behind me. The driver came around to open my door. I took a look out the window. A large crowd swarmed in front of the university auditorium entrance. Titus's voice came from the passenger seat. I don't think you should exit the car yet, Your Majesty. My scouts reported a number of individuals protesting near the entrance, Suomino members by the looks of it. I should have expected this. The fact that local law enforcement hasn't stepped in is troubling. Should the offenders be removed? Yes. Yes, I don't want any unpleasant surprises, but try not to use violence. We won't. Titus slipped out of the car. I heard shouts of defiance and the hiss of tear gas as the Golden Guards descended on the crowd. I didn't really want tear gas, but oh well, what you gonna do? A few minutes later, he returned to escort me to the auditorium. The seats were already full of students, staff members, distinguished alumni, and nobles from House Suzerain. Many were outfitted with outfits were adorned with Isa University mascot, an anthropomorphic cactus named Spiky. They rose and cheered enthusiastically as I proceeded down the hall. I was halfway to the stage when the hall erupted in cheers. I turned my head to see Vina and Manus waving to the crowd. Vina split off for the front row as I took my place on stage next to Rico. He was seated with his legs spread out, his expression radiating barely concealed disdain. Sit proudly and show some respect to this venerable institution, Duke Ricardus. This venerable institution should be worried about earning my respect, but as His Majesty commands, he reluctantly assumed a more formal pose. The lights dimmed and the dean of the university stepped onto the stage. After a short presentation about the history of the university, she invited the Duke of Isa to speak. There was a burst of thunderous applause as Rico took the stage. Most of it seemed to be coming from the back row of seats. My cousin stepped behind the podium and cleared his throat. As reigning Duke of Isa, I'm honored to speak at the University of Rizia's most renowned university. I must confess to you all, the only higher education I've ever received is from the School of Life. I haven't even graduated yet. A few people in the back row laughed. But when I took charge of Isa, I realized what an important role this institution plays. Isa University was founded in order to preserve our kingdom's cherished traditions, pass them on to the next generation, to instill young people like yourselves with a stable moral center, even when it's lacking outside these walls. But somehow, over the years, that purpose was lost. He glanced at me. Like the rest of Isa, or Riza, this school has become a breeding ground for an ideology that prioritizes foreign perspectives over our own. A place where this nation's greatest achievements are seen as problems to be worried over, not triumphs to be celebrated. And where youths respond to the harsh realities of war, not by rising to defend their nation, but by waving signs and chanting. He levied a gaze out at the audience. This isn't education, it's indoctrination. A student sitting near the front yelled, "Fascist!" Rico jerked his head in her direction. See, this is exactly what I mean. I realized the hall had gone deathly silent. All at once, the people sitting in the back row stood up. They were all wearing military-style jackets with patches bearing the Suamino insignia. Moving in unison, they marched down the aisle towards the student, who'd shouted, and roughly yanked her out of her seat. "Unhand her, by order of the king!" The Suamino members gave Rico a questioning look. After a few long moments, he nodded. They let go of the student. She raced past them and out of the auditorium. "That's enough, Rico. It's time for the king to speak." His eyes filled with fury. He reluctantly nodded his assent. He spoke under his breath as he retreated back to his seat. "I had this under control, Your Majesty." I know, that's what worries me. The audience had started speaking in a hushed whisper. They quieted down as I took Rico's place behind this podium. I glanced at Titus. He was scanning the crowd, alert for the slightest sign of danger. Good. Keep an eye out. I might get attacked. I took out the notes I'd prepared. Ladies and gentlemen of Isa. Looking out at all you bright young faces makes me wish I had gone to university myself. War, revolution, social upheaval, these halls have seen it all and lived a tale to tell. I look at you all and I see a future that I want this country to have. Diverse, curious, and afraid to question authority. It is places like Isa that represent the values our country is fighting for. I'm a very my character is a very complex man. Isa is and always will be a proudly multicultural city. Those who cannot accept that should leave. But we cannot forget our history and heritage, even as we hurtle into tomorrow. Having said that, there's one part of my own heritage that must be dealt with immediately. Your Duke, Ricardus. Rico looked agitated. His eyes darted back and forth from me to the Suomino members in the back row. Yes, let's do it. I don't care. We're gonna do it. Suomino is really getting annoying. I would therefore like to announce that I'm removing Ricardus Taurus from power, effective immediately. The audience roared. Rico shot out of his seat. What? Your Majesty! Titus grabbed his shoulders and forced him back into his chair. Shrieks came from the audience as a dozen Suomino members rushed to the stage. Titus and his fellow Golden Guards moved swiftly to intercept them. Before I knew it, a full-on brawl had broken out. The teachers and students began streaming towards the exit. Stop fighting immediately! A shot rang out. Everyone in the hall froze. One of Rico's defenders lay crumpled on the ground, bleeding from a wound in his shoulders. The Central Police, missing in action until now, finally materialized to take the man away. The audience's chatter had escalated into a cacophony. I motioned for silence. I regret that you all had to witness that. Now that your Duke has been disposed, I see only one option. Okay. For now, there will be no Duke. It will remain under Rizia Imperia's jurisdiction, or Isa will no longer have a Duke. It will be reincorporated. Is it time? Is it time to let it be reincorporated? I think... hello? Let me return to conversation, please. I'm clicking on the button. There we go. I think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna do it. Woo, they're gonna be angry at me. They are gonna be so freaking angry at me. But let's do it. I feel like I'm making so many bad decisions, but I like them and they're fun. And I want to see what happens because I do them, so... Isa will no longer have a Duke. It will be reincorporated into Britannia and governed by its own democratically elected council. A hush came over the crowd as my announcement sank in. The students and teachers assembled rose and began clapping. Vinna and Manus rose to their feet and applauded as well. Rejoice, Isa. You are finally free. The auditorium reverberated with thunderous applause. Rico was still frozen to his seat. He seemed to be processing everything that had happened. He was right. Hugo wouldn't stand for this. Oh no, I have just made Hugo so angry. With the people on my side, perhaps I could still weather the storm. Hey, look! Look, it's no longer got that little bubble around that. It's now just there. House Suzerain Governor. The local municipality is governed by House Suzerain. Rico Taurus deposed. In the early hours of the morning, former Duke Rico Taurus was dragged out of the palace by members of the Golden Guard. He was then taken to the local TV station, where he was forced to resign his position as Duke of Isa, before being let go. Reportedly, the former Duke then traveled to relatives in Veloquiz province, where he is rumored to be staying for now. He's Oop, I just did a screenshot. Yeah, he held the title of reigning Duke of Isa until his deposition by the king, it now says. Isa's city-state integrated into Britannia. Isa, the culturally rich third largest city in Rizia, boasts a unique history as a merchant republic and is renowned for its diverse heritage, university, and merchant routes. It has now been integrated as a city-state into the Britannia province. University anniversary ends in Duke's surprise deposition. In a speech given at Isa's University's 750th anniversary celebration, King Ramos dramatically announced the deposition of his own cousin, Duke Ricardus Torres, and the end of House Torres' reign over the historic city of Isa. This decision underscores a clear message from the monarchy. Leadership roles within the realm are contingent upon adherence to the principles of honor, integrity, and greater good of the Rizian people. The swift action taken by His Majesty affirms the king's unwavering commitment to justice and the rule of law. Perhaps even more surprising was His Majesty's announcement that in the wake of Duke Ricardus' departure, the city of Isa would return to its historic homeland of Brennus. There's no doubt a coup for House Suzerain, from which many members of Isa's new democratically elected city council are sure to stem. We hail the king's magnanimous decision, even as we question the wisdom of integrating such reformist elements into the fabric of state governance. Pardon of Duchess Suzerain, the decision of whether to sanction Angelica's release. As King of Rizia, you have the chance to pardon certain political prisoners. The Suzerains have once again pointed to their long-standing petition asking for the release of their monitor Angelica, whose husband plotted the infamous royal kidnapping in 1926. You know, let's do it. We're just making them good allies at this point. Let's do it. Why not? Let's go crazy. Let's go crazy. Reports emerge of torture prison. BFF guerrilla groups announced to the world that it managed to reveal the existence of torture facility deep inside Well and Proper. The ultra-strict prison is supposed to only hold BFF members, but also some of the arrested reported as missing in the aftermath of the Zeal bombing, possibly including Rizian citizens. Traitor pardoned. His Majesty has issued official pardon to Angelica Suzerain, former Duchess of Isa and wife of traitor to the throne of Lucas Suzerain. It has been nearly 30 years since the erstwhile Duke conspired to kidnap the Crown Prince, a plot that was ultimately foiled when his spouse revealed his whereabouts to the King Valero's security forces. Following the successful rescue operation spearheaded by our then allies from Welland and Lucas Suzerain's swift execution, Duchess Angelica was ordered exile. The full extent of her complicity in the kidnapping was never revealed. Now, for reasons unknown, it seems she will be returning to the mainland from Calipus village, where she has now spent over half of her life. We trust that she will spend the rest of it expressing her gratitude for His Majesty King Ramos and his infinite mercy, even towards those who have wished to do him harm. Yeah. Meeting with Queen Livingston, requested a meeting with Hugo. Decide how to manage the refugees. Yeah, we don't have money. The current conflict, let me load last checkpoint and see if I can get some money in any way, actually, first. I just want to see if I have the option to help, if I want to. I still might not, but I want to see if I can maybe get some extra money, if I possibly can. Because it would be nice to get a little more people on my side. I don't know if I can get some extra money in any way, though. Yeah, I literally, no decision is available. Yeah, sorry, I literally can't get money. Faced with the moral obligation to aid those in need, the destiny of the displaced people is united call for action within our nation. We can't afford to invest in humanitarian aid right now. Literally, we can't. We don't have money. WHR calls for respecting refugee rights. The Watchtower of Human Rights has called upon Rizia to respect the rights of refugees attempting to flee the war zone in Bales. Thousands continue to pile up at the former Rizian-Bales border. An organization spokesperson has said the WHR is willing to help organize an international relief effort for those affected by the war and has called on Rizia to allow its observers into the border zone so they can monitor the situation as it develops. I would love that. If you want to give me money, I'll put it all on helping these refugees, whatever. If you want to give me the money, I'll do it in a heartbeat. I just don't have the money for it right now. I'm nervous about that. And I'm nervous about both of these, to be honest. But I think this is a good time to go ahead and end this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And as always, peace.